just really want to get fucked bad. I just really want to get fucked bad.
I'm ovulating so hard right now. Like, I want to flirt so bad. Give me a boy. Give me a cute boy right now.
This is an urgent matter. We need dick.
Guys, I have a lot of stress and sadness inside of me right now.
And I really need someone to come fuck it out of me.
Men are sick of modern women, and this is why. Don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger.
Women aren't suddenly seeking attention without a reason. As more men stop chasing, approaching, and constantly offering validation, some women are beginning to realize just how much they depended on that attention. So what happens when the attention they once took for granted suddenly fades away?
So a big reason for why I will always advocate for lovers over a husband is because it's illegal to have multiple husbands, at least in America. I want access to the men at the top, right? I want to be able to benefit from their resources. And I just don't want to benefit from one man's resources. Why benefit from one man's resources when you can benefit from 10 men's resources or 5 men's resources or 3 men's resources? I want access to the benefits. I want a lover that is a scientist. I want a lover that is a politician. I want a lover that is a chef that lives in France somewhere, right? I want lovers that can take me places. I want lovers with things that I can benefit from. And I'll never feel bad about any of it. Never.
I just really want to get fucked bad. 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 I just really want to get fucking fucked bad.
Notice the pattern already. A hunger for attention, dependency disguised as devotion, and a complete avoidance of commitment, all within 3 clips. These aren't exceptions. They're simply 2 sides of the same coin. When people no longer feel secure within themselves, they either hold on too tightly or pull away too quickly. Neither of them is truly about love.
It's not hard, y'all. I just want a man who's gonna fuck me and feed me.
Because, baby, I need a man. I don't want to be independent. I don't want to do everything on my own.
I want a man who is so obsessed with me that when I come back from the gym, all sweaty and gross, he throw me on the couch and eat my pink taco marinade, not giving a fuck if I shower or not. That is the commitment that I fucking want.
Marriage. More and more men are not only moving away from relationships, but they're moving away from marriage.
I don't know about y'all, but I am a lover girl, always have been, forever will be. I cannot wait until I have a man that don't play about me, that love the fuck out of me, that actually be like, I need you. I don't want you, I need you. I need you every single day.
I'm never going to get married. I don't want to get married.
Why?
There's no benefit for the man. He only has everything to lose.
What?
A man can be completely faithful to his wife, provide, protect, take care of the kids, obviously when he's not working, whatever. And the wife can step out and cheat. And what's the result of that? Man has to pay alimony, has to pay child support, loses his house, loses the cars, loses everything.
Men are avoiding relationships because women change. They are avoiding marriage because the risk is too high now. One mistake, you lose your peace, you lose your freedom, you lose your money, sometimes even your child.
Is this a safe place? Probably not, but I need to get this off my chest. The way that I've been having sex lately, it's been real cutesy, real demurring, real, baby. But I'm done! I wanna, give me that! I wanna release like that, but I'm scared. Like, do you think I would scare a guy? Like, if I did that to him, like, yay! Yay! Give me that! Give it to me! Give me that dick! I want that, but I'm scared. I'm gonna scare him.
Fear appears here in 2 different forms: fear of financial loss, fear of being too much, and then that repeated. Line lands like a punchline, but it's actually the emotional residue left behind by both. When people are afraid to be honest about what they truly want, that need doesn't disappear. It only becomes louder and more difficult to understand.
Okay, so when my friend and I go out, we don't get approached by men. And it's happened like a handful of times where we'll go out and we look nice, we're putting our best foot forward, we're fun, we're talkative, we laugh, the whole 9, okay? We don't get approached. We live in LA. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if men in other parts of the country are different, but in LA, it feels like that just doesn't happen anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna put a picture of us and you guys can see what we look like. I don't think like we're bad looking, you know? Like what is it?
Honestly, a lot of it is just not under your control anymore because a lot of men are just no longer approaching, no matter how approachable you may seem. And that's just honestly because so many women before you have been absolutely toxic to these men, to the point of men no longer finding it beneficial to go out, especially at night, to the bars and approach women. Because they do not believe that they're going to find wifey material at the bar, even if you are wifey material. And then just the amount of effort and energy that he has to spend on approaching you and then maybe possibly buying you a drink and then keeping you chatting in a busy, loud bar, it is exhausting. And that's even if he gets to that point, because for most men, they're getting rejected about 80 to 90% of the time. So it is absolutely discouraging. And all it takes, honestly, is 1 or 2 really bad rejections where he gets called out for being something that he isn't to make him not want to ever do it again. So my best recommendation is to not have going out with one of your girlfriends at night to a bar be the way that you're trying to meet a man. It's just not very doable in today's day and age.
Has feminism and the favoring of women's rights killed marriage? More and more men are not only moving away from relationships, but they're moving away from marriage. And we see a lot of men that have gone through a divorce who are just checking out of relationships with women altogether. I've seen so many comments in my comment section of men who have gone through terrible divorces, who are in financial ruin, who have lost access to their children. Why has it become so risky for men to follow their heart, to get into relationship with women and to get married? Why are men moving away from something that should be so pure? Why have men decided to move away from love, from connection, and from relationships? Divorce rates are extremely high, but it's men in particular who are moving away from traditional marriage. Marriages feel fragile. It's oftentimes men that are not only financially ruined by marriages or by divorces, also emotionally ruined. And there's men who never recover from the detriment and the damage that the divorce has caused them. Men are left financially broken, emotionally shattered, and many men get even cut off from their own children. And I don't think that we understand the importance of a man in a child's life. But I've spoken about this before, and it really upsets me that we favor women in court, women looking after the children, instead of children also having the rights and the fathers having the rights to spend time with their own children. So I'm not surprised that men are deciding to stay single or never engage in marriage, not courting women anymore, and why so many divorced men are staying away from getting remarried or re-entering in relationships, because they draw the short end of the stick in society. Okay, let's talk some facts. 40% of marriages end in divorce. 40%, that's close to half. And it's different in the US and in Europe. But as of today, the percentage difference is not that large between the US and Europe. I think it's about 2%, 2 or 3%. So that is a very high number. And on top of that, 80% of the time in divorce, men are being cut off from their children. And that is not a small imbalance. That's an overwhelming majority of men that lose access to their children or become fathers that can see their children on the weekend. And in most of the cases, men are ordered to pay alimony and child support for their children and not even having the rights to see their kids. So this leads to financial ruin because a lot of men actually also lose their homes and are financially burdened in a way that they can no longer sustain. And a lot of men take years, if ever, to recover from this financial blow and this emotional blow. And I think that we women need to understand the risks that men face when they engage in marriage with a woman. Us women need to understand that there's a huge financial risk for men to get married. On top of that, there's enormous emotional risk for men as well. Emotional devastation that they face because courts and our society favor women. Men do not have the support or the same support that women have in the cases of divorce. It weighs an emotional toll on a man when they're disconnected from their children and they have no leg to stand on. They have no support and a very little understanding towards man. And again, the importance of a man in the life of your child. A lot of women don't understand the importance of that. And our society doesn't acknowledge the importance of a man in the life of a child. Now, I want to delve a bit deeper into these issues that men face and why so many men are moving away from marriage altogether. 1, financial risk. When marriages break down, men carry most of the financial load. When a marriage breaks down, men carry a significantly larger burden financially than women do. They're probably losing half of their assets. They're ordered to do ongoing alimony payments. And on top of that, they have to pay for child support for a child that they're probably not even seeing anymore, or maybe a couple of days a week. And this is financially crippling a lot of men. That is a lot of money that men have to pay. And I think it's unfair because we women earn enough in this day and age. So why does a man have to pay half of his assets or his income? If women are so liberated and so independent, then they should also be able to take care of the child independently. Or the man should have the same amount of access to his children as the woman does. Number 2, emotional devastation. The saddening truth is that so many men, like I mentioned before, 80% of the divorce cases, the children go to the mother, or most of the time they will be with the mother. It is as detrimental and as painful for a man to lose access to his children. I don't understand why we think it's normal that the man is the one who loses access to his children in divorce.
This is where the disconnect becomes obvious. One person is confused about why approach culture disappeared. Another explains exactly why it disappeared, while a third has already walked away from monogamy entirely in exchange for transactional access. Nobody in this stretch is really talking about connection. They're talking about strategy, and that's the shift worth noticing. My issue is I can say, you know what, I want a little male attention.
Problem is I can be like, you know what, I want a little bit of male attention, okay? I want a little bit of that male gaze. And then like 5 million men could give me attention, and I would literally sit there and be like, no man has given me attention in 50,000 years. And the reason is because that I really just want one specific man's attention. Like there's just one man I have in mind, and if that man isn't giving me attention, then every single man in the entire world could give me attention, and I would still be like,
Men are sick of modern women, and this is why. Don't get mad at me, I'm just the messenger. You do not complement that man's life, you complicate it. Men already have to go into the world, in their workplace, around other men. They have to compete 24/7. In order to be considered a high-quality man, you have to be competitive. He deals with all of that in the world already, and then he comes home to you, and you want to compete with him more. Reason number 2, there's no clear win for them. You want them to be strong, not dominant, though. Be sensitive, but don't be weak. Lead, but don't control me. Provide, but don't be transactional towards me. These men have no clear way to win a situation with most of you women. They become fatigued, and that's why they give up on you. You're then a reflection of the confusion they already feel in the world. Men do not get to be held to the same standard as women. They don't get to show their emotions freely and still be seen as strong. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't.
I know the women are going to hate me for saying this, but masculine men don't want strong women. They want soft, nurturing women, which means they want women who protect. They want women who are soft, who will take care of him, who will make him feel at home, who will cook for him, who will serve him, who will be gentle with him, and who will make him feel at peace rather than at chaos. If you as a woman cannot bring that to a man, and all you bring to his life is chaos and problems and demands, and you can't talk softly and learn to not yell at him when you get upset, then you cannot be with a strong masculine man.
Here's where you need to pause and ask, are these figures accurate or simply repeated so often that people believe them? divorce rates have actually declined over the years, while custody outcomes can vary significantly depending on the state. Frightening statistics spread faster than accurate ones, and data built around fear is still nothing more than fear.
I'm going to teach you something sad about the male race. Men have a behavioral strategy that is a holdover from the cave days, and it looks like conquest. Conquest is the male shadow. It's, I'm going to behave in whatever way I need to behave to get exactly what I want out of this woman. It's not really who I am. And I have some bad news. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm saying you're going to have to really have discernment. And I realize that when you're starving to death for that closeness, it's very hard to use discernment. If you were starving to death, no water for days, and I was to poison this water and be like, really hard to say no to that, right? But you're going to have to use your discernment. That place in you that wants to drink the poisoned water is a void that needs you badly. It's literally one of the most painful experiences you can ever have, going into that consciously, sitting with the emotions of that absolute desperate starved powerlessness. But if you sit in that void long enough, it goes away. Then you're not a match to other people with the void. And you can believe that the conquest men, they have a void.
Why are men no longer showing up at the dates that they booked for with these women? Why are men no longer showing up at singles conferences? Why are men becoming very much less interested in marriage? These are the many questions that I have been getting in my DMs, and honestly, I have gotten emails with regards to that. And I'm going to explain certain things to you right here. The men have chosen their peace, their purpose, and their pockets to be sealed. The men have decided to listen to your orders, to your instruction. The men got your memo and they chose to be stuck at home. The men are saying to you, we want you to be free from every one of us. Because I mean, you all say you do not need men. Feminism has freed every one of you.
Men have checked out. Men are not afraid to be fathers. They are afraid to be husbands to women that bring drama, disrespect, and emotional warfare to their peace. So what happens? Men still want legacy. They're going to clap cheeks, but they gonna keep it moving. No vows, no risk, and no drama. It's very sad, but unfortunately, as women, we're doing it to ourselves.
This section lines heavily into blame. Women complicate things, women are too much. Women aren't soft enough, but labeling an entire gender as the problem is the same trap we've seen in the earlier clips. It replaces self-reflection with a convenient scapegoat. Real relationships require both people to grow, not one side constantly performing softness. On demand, the issue was never simply about sex or relationships, it was always about validation. When men stop chasing, the constant reassurance disappears with them. And if your confidence depended on feeling wanted, a world where men no longer compete for your attention can feel completely different. Thanks for watching MTOW Voice. Show us your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.